የአለኝታ የሬዲዮ ድምጽ ነው። የአለኝታ ሬዲዮ በይሳቅ ድረስ በጎ አድራጎት ድርጅት የሚዘጋጀው የአማርኛ ፕሮግራም ዘወትር ቅዳሜ ከሰዓት በኋላ በኤም 900 አየር ሞገድ ከ9 ሰዓት እስከ 9 ሰዓት ተኩል ድረስ በሎስ አንጀለስና በአካባቢው ለሚኖሩ ኢትዮጵያውያን ህብረተሰብ የሚያስተላልፈው ዝግጅት እዚህ ላይ ይጀምራል። አድማጮቻችን እንደምን ከርማችኋል? የአለኝታ ድምጽ ሬዲዮ እንደተለመደው ዘወትር ቅዳሜ በቀጥታ የሚያስተላልፈውን ፕሮግራም አሁን ይጀምራል። ዕለቱ ቅዳሜ መጋቢት 22 ቀን 2006 ዓ.ም ሲሆን ዝግጅቱን የማቀርብላችሁ ኖህ ገብረ እግዚአብሔር ነኝ። በመጀመሪያ አርዕስተ ዜና። የኬንያ መንግስት የሶማሊያ ስደተኞችን ወደ ካምፕ እንዲገቡ መጠየቁ፣ የዩኒሴፍ ሪፖርት፣ ኢትዮጵያዊቷ ሳይንቲስት ተሸለሙ። ዜናው በዝርዝር። አልሻባብ እየተባለ የሚጠራው አሸባሪ ቡድን በኬንያ ውስጥ ባደረሰው ጥቃት በሕይወትና በንብረት ላይ ጉዳት መድረሱ ይታወቃል። ይህንም በተመለከተ ወደ 600 ሺህ የሚደርሱ በኬንያ ነዋሪነታቸው ያደረጉ ሶማሊያውያን ስደተኞች በኬንያ መንግስት ወደ ካምፕ እንዲገቡ ተጠይቀዋል። ኬንያም ወደ ካምፑ በማይገቡ ሶማሊያውያን ላይ ጥብቅ እርምጃ እንደምትወስድ አስታውቃለች። ይህንም በተመለከተ ኬንያ በዓለም አቀፍ የሰብአዊ መብት ድርጅት ነቀፋ ደርሶባታል። ቢሆንም ግን የኬንያ መንግስት ምንም አይነት ማለሳለስ አላሳየም። እርምጃውን ከመውሰድ ወደ ኋላ እንደማይልም አስታውቋል። ዩኒሴፍ የተባለው የተባበሩት መንግስታት ድርጅት ንዑስ ክፍል መግለጫ አውጥቷል። በመግለጫውም ኢትዮጵያ የንጹህ መጠጥ ውሃን በማዳረስ በኩል የሚሊኒየም ግቦችን ብታሳካም በንጽህና በኩል ወደ ኋላ መቅረቷን ዩኒሴፍ አስታውቋል። 51 በመቶ የሚሆነው የህብረተሰብ ክፍል ንጹህ መጸዳጃ እንዲያገኝ ተይዞ የነበረ ቢሆንም አገሪቱ ማሳካት የቻለችው 8 በመቶ ብቻ ነው። በትምህርት ቤቶችም ውስጥ 33 በመቶ የሚያህሉ ህፃናት ብቻ ንጹህ የመጸዳጃ አገልግሎት ሲያገኙ 31 በመቶ የሚሆኑ ተማሪዎች ብቻ ንጹህ ውሃ ተጠቃሚዎች ናቸው። ዩኒሴፍም በሪፖርቱ እንደተመለከተው 43 ሚሊዮን ኢትዮጵያውያን አሁንም ንጹህ የመጠጥ ውሃ አያገኙም። እንዲሁም ድርጅቱ ባወጣው ዝርዝር በቻይና 108 ሚሊዮን፣ በህንድ 99 ሚሊዮን፣ በናይጄሪያ 63 ሚሊዮን፣ በኢትዮጵያ 43 ሚሊዮን፣ በኢንዶኔዥያ 39 ሚሊዮን፣ በኮንጎ 37 ሚሊዮን፣ በባንግላዴሽ 28 ሚሊዮን፣ በታንዛኒያ 22 ሚሊዮን፣ በኬንያ 16 ሚሊዮን፣ በፓኪስታን 16 ሚሊዮን ንጹህ ውሃ እንደማያገኙ በሪፖርቱ አመልክቷል። የተባበሩት መንግስታት የትምህርትና የሳይንስ የባህል ድርጅት ዩኔስኮ ሎሬአል ከሚባል ዓለም አቀፍ የውበትና የሰውነት ጥራት መጠበቂያ አቅርቦት አምራች ቡድን ጋር በየዓመቱ የሚያካሄደው ሴቶች በሳይንስ ሽልማት ኢትዮጵያዊቱ ዶክተር ሰገነት ቀለሙ አሸናፊ ሆኑ። ዶክተር ሰገነት እና የምርምር ቡድናቸው ኮሎምቢያ ሳሉ ከአፍሪካ የተወሰደ ብራኪያርድ የሚባል የሰርዶ ዘር የሆነና ለከብቶች መኖነት የሚውል ሳር በሽታና የተፈጥሮ መለዋወጥን መቋቋም በሚችልበት ሁኔታ አሻሽለውታል። ዛሬ ይህ የሳር አይነት በመላው ዓለም ተስፋፍቶ እንደሚገኝና ጥቅሙም የበረከተ ወተት በመስጠት የስጋ ምርትን በማብዛት እጅግ የበዛ መሆኑን ዶክተር ሰገነት አብራርተዋል። ዶክተር ሰገነት የብዙ ዓለም አቀፍ ሽልማቶች ባለቤቶች ሲሆኑ እርሳቸው በተሸለሙ ቁጥር ደስ የሚላቸው ኢትዮጵያም አብራ ስለምትጠራ መሆኑን ተናግረዋል ሲል የአሜሪካ ድምፅ ሬዲዮ በድረ ገጹ ላይ አስፍሮታል። ዜናው አበቃ። አድማጮቻችን ከሙዚቃና ከማስታወቂያ በኋላ ፕሮግራማችን ይቀጥላል። ከቀሪው ዝግጅቶቻችን ጋር አብራችሁን እንድትቆዩ እንጋብዛችኋለን። መልካም ቆይታ።
ካንቺው ነው አዳሬ መጣሁ በርሬ ካንቺው ነው አዳሬ አይቴትሃው ወርዝማማ ድንገተ ኩሉ ይወድሱኪ በዜማ የመረጡሽ ከሮማ ውድነሽ አንቺ የኛ ባህር ዳር ከተማ ውድነሽ አንቺ የኛ ባህር ዳር ከተማ ክፉ አይንካሽ ደግ ደግሽን እንስማ የኛን ባህር ዳር ቆንጆቹን ከተማ እንኳን ገባችሁ ብለሽ ሩቅ እንግዳች ሲመጣ እንኳን ቆየሽ ያለ የፍቅርሽን ጽዋ እንዲጠጣ የጎጃም ለፍቅር ልዩ ንቃሟ ለፍቅር ልዩ የጎጃም ለፍቅር ልዩ ንቃሟ ለፍቅር ልዩ ወረጅ እስክስታ ሆይ አርግልኝ መታ ሆይ ከፈትፈት ይበለው ሆይ ልግባ በሆታ ሆይ አጫወትኳት ሆይ አዝናናኋት ሆይ በደርብ ደርበው ሆይ በሶስት ምት ሆይ በደናሽ ነው ወይ ሆይ እንደምንድነሽ ሆይ በደናሽ ነው ወይ ሆይ በደና ነው ወይ ሐሳብ ላንዳፍታ ሆይ ይቀየራል ሆይ ቅድም ነብሬት ነው ሆይ አልነበርሽም ሆይ ጨዋታው ሲበርድ ሆይ ደከም ከማልሽ ሆይ አንቺ ጨዋታ ሆይ ውረጅ እስክስታ ሆይ
አድማጮቻችን የዲፓርትመንት ኦፍ ሜንታል ሄልዝ ኢመርጀንሲ ኤንድ አውትሪች ሰርቪስስ ዴፑቲ ዳይሬክተር የሆኑትን ሚስተር ቶኒ ብሌዝን ይኸውና ይዘንላችሁ ቀርበናል። ውይይቱን ማቀርብላችሁ አሰፋ ድረስ ነኝ። ዶክተር ብሌዝ on behalf of Isaac Deres Foundation's Ethiopian Amharic radio program, I want to thank you for inviting us to share this moment to discuss about the Department of Mental Health Emergency and Outreach Services you are in charge of.
Dr. Belize, when we call the Department of Mental Health Emergency Services, sometimes we have to wait a day or two. Is there anything you can do to speed up the response time so that emergency becomes, as the meaning of the word, emergency?
What we do is sometimes a person will call and say the person is breaking windows, and if it requires an immediate response. Unfortunately, we don't have lights and sirens. We don't have code 3. And so to protect the community and everybody else, we say call law enforcement. Even though what we would rather would be that it be one of our co-response teams, one of our mental health teams, because they can provide the better thing. But when there's no other alternative, I would hate to tell a person, well, wait for us, because we'll be there in an hour, or we might be there in an hour and a half. That, if it's an acute emergency. And what the police are doing, we're also training law enforcement agencies on how to work with families and individuals who have mental illness. And we've gotten very, very good feedback from the police agencies that have taken the training, but more importantly, we've received good feedback from community members that are saying, you know, something's different with the police. They're treating our individuals better. So we realize we're making a difference. Unfortunately, again, resources, you know, how do you train everybody who responds? But definitely let us know when it's not working to your satisfaction. There should be a reason, a legitimate, reasonable reason why we did not respond within an hour.
Dr. Blaze, what do you think the Ethiopian community can do in order to reduce stigma and be a participant with the Department of Mental Health?
Well, I think it's important to be a part of the service planning area advisory board to provide information to Mr. Vidari, who's Service Area 4, the district chiefs. I think it's really important to voice those concerns, be a part of the stakeholder process. That's really important. I think that when we look at students in trouble, what we find in most of the cases is that they do not have, in my view, meaningful productive activity in two areas. One is play. Time spent with the family, with peer groups, in interactive social stuff. Because that improves self-esteem. It minimizes maladaptive behaviors, and it provides you with support from your peers. Peer support is extremely important. Exercise, the same thing. A lot of students, I'd say the majority of the students that we see who are in trouble, one way or another, are not having healthy play, and they're not having good exercise. A lot of our students, including us as adults, spend a lot of our time on our computers. This is what we do. Play games, research, do all these things, and we just had a case referred to us where the student, third world, minority community, father works all day trying to make it happen. Mother works in a very menial job. He tells us that he spends a minimum of 12 hours a day on the computer. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And father doesn't know that because he works 7 days a week. Mother doesn't know about the downside of a computer. She doesn't even know how to open it up. And as you know, the computer can be a resource for all sorts of things. But it can also be very addicting. It can be a source where, like in this case, researching ways to hurt people. Getting into all negative things. And so, we don't feel it's the best intervention to just say, throw away the computer, because everybody has a computer. And right now, this is what this kid has as a defense mechanism. But what can you replace it with? Meaningful, productive activity. Play. Exercise. We know that bullying contributes to campus violence. We also know that excessive videos contribute to that, because the other side of being on the computer all the time is, you're isolated. Completely isolated. We also know that most studies will tell you that excessive video gaming will lead to neurological changes in the brain. The frontal lobe is shut off. And that's where you reason, you think, you abstract. And so if that part of the brain is turned off, academics become a problem, following instructions become a problem, and it becomes very addicting. So in the communities, we talk about, especially in LA County where there are so many possibilities. So what I would say is, what is community for the Ethiopian community? Is it a church? Is it whatever it is? What programs are there that sometimes people think, well, let's have a good after-school program that's all about teaching. Give them a break. How about good play? How about good exercise? There have been studies that shown that when you put in a good exercise program, 5 days a week, where every student participates and they get their heart rate up, that truancy goes down, fighting goes down, depression goes down, academic performance increases by an exercise program for everybody, right? Because right now, most schools have cut it out. And if you're an athlete, it's great because you have access to it, but you're not an athlete. So what are you going to do? Most kids are just playing computer games, iPhones. And our point is, don't take it away because that's not helpful. That's our environment now. But what can you add so that the kid puts it down because they have something else that goes good citizenship, promotes health, and gives them an alternative? Because if you're bored all day long, what are you going to do? watch television, or play computer games. So I think that for the Ethiopian community, as well as other communities that are, let's say, united because of ethnicity or language or whatever it is, that there presents an opportunity to be proactive and do the things that, unfortunately, schools and others can't do. Because schools have been restricted again financially from providing these things. And it's really unfortunate because we see the consequence of that. And how helpful it is to have healthy living. You know, one of the things we tell our parents is, how much time do you spend with your child? They don't, because they're too busy surviving. Right? What do you do for fun? I've had kids that, and it's not always about money, although I've had kids that have told me, I've asked them, what was the last movie you saw in a theater? Never been. 12 years old, 13 years old, they've never been to a movie theater. And is it that the mother and the father are neglectful? No, they can't afford it. I mean, in some places it's all over the place, right? But some parents don't understand how important it is to have a healthy relationship with their children. And the way to do that is through play. Because you can't always be a parent lecturing. I had one son say, you know, I go to my dad, but all I get is a lecture. You know what he wants with his dad? Play catch. Play soccer. That's all he wants. That's all he wants. I'll tell the parents, and some of the dads will tell me, you know what? I never learned to play. Because when I was little growing up, I had to survive. I had to work. That's what happens to the minority. They don't have that experience. So we teach the parent how to play. We're referring to this one child who's 12 because his father's unavailable completely because he's trying to survive, to a local prevention program with one of the law enforcement agencies. Well, they will have a kid go 3 days a week after school. They learn about policing, a good, healthy role model. Other than being home, playing computers. See, that's part of the problem. But we're careful when we tell the parents about that because their initial reaction is, well, take away the computer. Bad idea. You see what I mean? Bad idea. How are you going to prevent the kid from doing something that everyone has? So we tell the parents, the kids need to learn how to manage it. So playing games, yeah, 2 hours a week, 1 hour a week, doesn't matter. Moderation. It's like you and I. We have a cup of wine with dinner, not a problem. But 5 cups every night, right? So we tell the parents, let them play. There's nothing wrong with playing computers. That's the in thing right now. But not 12 hours. And unfortunately, we had an interview with a family 3 weeks ago. And we were asking them, well, does your son spend a lot of time on the computer? Is he up at night? She says, no. He goes to bed every night at 9. And I'm a light sleeper. I can hear that if he were to wake up. In a separate interview, the minor's saying, I play every night from midnight till 3 in the morning. Parents don't know. She's not being a bad parent. She just doesn't know. And I tell parents, you know, when you fall asleep and you're in REM sleep, no one wakes up. You're not going to wake up. So even though you think you hear everything, at a certain point in your sleep cycle, every human being. So when we tell that to the parents, they begin to realize, well, maybe I don't know what he's doing at night or her at night. And we find out all the time because we can just access the computer with their permission and see what they're doing. And so I think it's important then to, you know, our concern there would be not that he's disobeying the parent, but what is it that he's staying up at night about? Is he worried? Is he depressed? You know, bored. And so we always try and find out the why. You know, why is someone at the age of 12, straight A student, now talking about killing his teacher? Why is that? Because if you don't know that, I mean, the quick thing is to expel him. Now what? So we tell students, we tell the teachers, wait, let's try and understand this. And that's where these cases take so much time.
Dr. Belize, Isaac Deres Foundation is planning to have a large gathering of the Ethiopian community. Will your department be willing enough to send someone to educate the community in regards to bullying, peer pressure, gang violence, you know, the things that you have mentioned earlier?
Well, tell us what you want. our parent program is about an hour, and then it always goes about an hour and a half because parents have lots of questions. So we can do a 10-minute thing if that's what you like. I think it's shortchanged. Okay, yeah, we can present a half hour, whatever you want. I just think that at some point, my offer to you is we would do a full presentation to your parents and the community, because that empowers people. And you know, what we do with families that are very, very much tied into their cultural beliefs is we tell them, very good, you know, you do what you need to do, but in the meantime, also do this until the holy water kicks in or the prayer kicks in. We had an individual that had very disturbed, was hearing voices, the whole thing. And of course, to take medicine for that meant he was mentally ill and he saw no future. And part of what his delusion was that his wife was sleeping with other men in their bedroom. And the way we were able to help him is, you know, I said, you know, boy, with all this pressure, you're probably not sleeping too well. He said, no, I'm not. I said, well, you know, if you see our psychiatrist, we can provide you with some medication that will improve your sleep, and you might feel better, just stronger, because this thing's wearing you out. He agreed. 3 weeks later, he says, you know what? He says, I'm sleeping better, and my wife's not fooling around anymore. I said, great, right? So the whole point is, we need to understand and not reject the person's belief system. And not everybody's very well trained on that. So we respect the, you know, we have individuals that will go across the border to take their shot that's going to cure them. And sometimes we realize it's just a water shot or a B12 shot, but they believe it. So we tell them, okay, just go ahead and do what you're going to do. Just let them know what it is, because sometimes it can counter. I said, but try this too. Let's do both. Let's do both. Let's not. And so I think that however you want to do it, we can provide you with information. Stigma is universal. And so sometimes what we've done with families like that is what we've tried. We work with them and educate them about, you know, this is an assistance. But sometimes what we also do is we work with the school district and have them provide services at school. Because see, the parent is right, and they're very much in their culture, which we understand. The kid now is struggling with adopting LA norms and US norms. And so they do need help. They don't have this. It's the parents. So if we provide it at the school, see, and we tell the counselors, look, you know what? Trying to get this family to make one more step in a direction they do not feel is appropriate is just going to be a sabotage. So let's provide the mental health services at school. And in that way, the kid's able to express whatever's going on. The family is this way. And hopefully we can marry it, but at least we're getting the kids some help. When in our disaster mode, when we go someplace where there's been a disaster, what we're doing now is we're not putting up mental health or crisis intervention, because every time you do that, it's a keep away. What we're putting is personal and family assistance. So when you have your church activities, put personal and family assistance. Because a man can come to you and talk about his family and save faith. But once it says mental health, in fact, I talk to people from other countries, Israel, Chile, Japan. You put mental health, it's a deal breaker. So what we're doing is we're now saying personal and family assistance. Because, you know, someone can approach you and say, you know, I need help buying a car. Okay. Well, at least you've got a chance to talk to them. Because sometimes it's not about the car. But you put mental health, what guys, are you going to, you know. Now, the other thing you mentioned that I think is really important before I forget. There are 3 things that define mental health. And we find that the people that get in trouble, adults, children, is 3 things. Psychological mindedness. You have to have insight. Medical. You have to take care of your body physically. And the third is spiritual. So when a community provides those 3 things because the parents can't, because someone with a lot of psychological mindedness that doesn't have spiritual isn't taking care of themselves physically is going to be out of balance. And when we see people that are in trouble, I can bet you money they're low on two of them. They don't understand themselves. So, for example, with the teenagers, I might have a program where, intermixed with activities, you talk about, this is the struggles you're going to grow up with. Your parents want you to be a doctor. You're not sure you want to be a doctor. How are you going to manage that? Because they will hear for the first time from someone that looks like them, talks like them, is them, that it's not about black and white. Because I tell students, life's in the middle. We live life in the gray. And so, if you're not the doctor, that doesn't mean you're a bum, shame, and disgrace. It gives them a little flexibility. So I think that for different developmental stages, it's helpful within a non-mental health environment. Right? So you got the kids graduating from middle school. A little program orientation on what's it like going to high school. What are the pressures? Mom and daddy want you to be a 4.5. What are you going to do about that? One is kill yourself. And then you tell. These are things, and I think the part to encourage is for them to talk about it in a non-threatening way. Prayer, tough for adolescents. But how do you bring in spirituality in a way that gives them hope? Because some families, I'll ask them, well, how do you connect with your kids? We go to church every Saturday. We're there 6 hours a week.
Thank you, Dr. Blaine. I appreciate it, and hopefully we will get an opportunity to work with you.
Great.
On the next meeting. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
የጎጃም ለፍቅር ልዩ ንቃሟ የጎጃም ለፍቅር ልዩ ንቃሟ
አድማጮቻችን የይስሐቅ ድረስ የበጎ አድራጎት ድርጅት የአለኝታ የሬዲዮ የአማርኛ ፕሮግራም ለሎስ አንጀለስና ለአካባቢው ለሚኖሩ ኢትዮጵያውያኖች ከ9 ሰዓት ተኩል ድረስ የሚያቀርበውን ፕሮግራም እዚህ ላይ ያበቃል። በሚቀጥለው ሳምንት ተመሳሳይ ሰዓት እስክንገናኝ ድረስ በሰላም ቆዩን።
የቀን ጀንበሯ ሆይ የአድማሷ ፍካት ሆይ ለምለም ዘንባባው ሆይ በሰልፍ ያጀባት ሆይ የኮራው ጣና ሆይ የአባይትነት ሆይ ባህር ዳር ላንቺ ሆይ ሆኗል ውበት ሆይ ለምለሙ ምድሯ ሆይ ደመቅመቅ ያለው ሆይ ደሴት ገዳሟ ሆይ ታምር ሚባል ሆይ ያብሩህ ሰማይ ሆይ ሐይቁ ሐዋ ሆይ ላያት ማራኪ ሆይ ሆኗል ግርማዋ ሆይ ሰፊው ጎዳናሽ ሆይ ያየርሽ ማዛ ሆይ መንፈስ አዳሽ ነው ሆይ ቀልብ የሚገዛ ሆይ አርሶም ነግዶ ሆይ አሳም በማስገር ሆይ ባህር ዳር ማደር ሆይ ጦማ ያሳድር ሆይ ወረጅስ ክስታ ሆይ አርግልኝ መታ ሆይ ማሙናይ ናይ ናይ 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 የባህር ዳር አሳን ጠይም ዘመን ማና የባህር ዳር አሳን ጠይም ዘመን ማና አሰኛለሽ ሁሉ ወደና ወደና ዘመድዬ ናይ ናይ ዘመድዬ ናይ 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 ሰውነቴ ናይ ናይ ሰውነቴ ናይ ናይ ሰውነቴ ናይ ናይ ሰውነቴ ሰራተሽ